the number of output, and efficiency, it deals with the quality of output. So just because there is mass production, there is a lot of output, does not mean that it's efficient. Efficiency also deals with the standard of quality. Okay, so very well done. Let's ask another question. What do you understand by the dominant paradigm of development? What is
It
the dominant paradigm?
Money is the
forms of development.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I cut you short.
Uh, it says that money is the central forms for development. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Excellent. Anything else? Okay. So the dominant paradigm of development basically is a system of development that is used predominantly worldwide. The dominant paradigm of development states that money is central to all forms of development. In other words, dominant paradigm of development assumes that if a country makes enough money, then all aspects of development is fulfilled. Therefore, the major criteria for development, according to the dominant paradigm of development, would be through economic growth, through generation of income. Okay, is that understood?
yes, sir.
yes, sir.
What do you understand by alternative forms of development?
rather
Where
than
money is not. Yeah.
uh, भन
Yes,
भन प्रज्ञा
भन
तिमी भन न
दुवैजनाले भन न। We can start with Pragya.
Alternative forms of development भनेको चाहिँ where money is not the central form for development अनि जहाँ चाहिँ अरू फर्म के अरे अरू लाइक जस्तै ह्याप्पिनेस इन्डेक्सहरू लाइक इक्जाम्पल लिन सक्छौँ हामीले अल्टरनेटिभ फर्म अफ डेभलपमेन्टमा जहाँ चाहिँ मान्छेको सेटिस्फ्याक्सन अनि मान्छेको ह्याप्पिनेसको लेभललाई चाहिँ एज अ फर्म अफ डेभलपमेन्ट लिन सकिन्छ. That's alternative forms of development.
Okay, excellent. Can we have Amrita?
सर लाइक त्यही हो म त्यो एक्जाम्पल भन्छु सो वी क्यान टेक भुटान एज एन एक्जाम्पल बिकज इट मेजर्स economic development in form of its happiness index.
Mm-hmm. Okay, excellent. Thank you for that wonderful example. So I think both of you are right. Alternative forms of development is basically an alternative approach to development where money is not central to all forms of development. Money can be important, but it's certainly not the central form of development. It's certainly not the assumption where money equates to development. So, in alternative forms of development, there can be other aspects which translates to development. In the case of Bhutan, you have the happiness index, where development is actually measured in terms of the happiness of its citizens. So you can see the difference. In the dominant paradigm of development, which is predominantly followed all around the world, including Nepal, money generation equates to development. Money generation equates to personal growth and development. Money generation equates to national growth and development as well. So मैले भनिराखेको कुरा बुझिराखेको छ डोमिनेन्ट प्याराडाइम अफ डेभलपमेन्टमा चाहिँ पैसा आर्जन गर्नु भनेकै सबै डेभलपमेन्ट एस्पेक्ट्समा राम्रो हुनु भनेर अजम्सन गर्छ तर अल्टरनेटिभ फर्म्स अफ डेभलपमेन्टमा पैसा इम्पोर्टेन्ट हुन सक्छ, but at the same time, money alone does not fulfill all the criteria for development. So any other form of development where money is not central or money is not the only aspect to measure development would be alternative forms of development. A very good example would be Bhutan's happiness index. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So far everybody's answered this like question, so maybe I should crank it up and ask you a bit difficult question. So give me an explanation as to how market failure occurs. How does market failure occur if government intervention is not present?
हाम्रो त्यो के अरे त्यो एलिट भन्नाले त्यो मोनोपोली पावर भयो भने होइन सर,
Mm-hmm.
ठुल्ठुलो कम्पनीहरूको, अनि त्यसपछि मेरिट गुडको लेस प्रोडक्सन, डिमेरिट गुड्सको हाई प्रोडक्सन भयो भने
Excellent.
मार्केट फेलियर हुन्छ सर।
Can you elaborate any one of the ways as to how market failure occurs?
लाइक अब त्यो के अरे मोनोपोली पावरको हल्का इलाबोरेट गर्छु है त सर।
Okay.
जस्तै अब एउटा कम्पनी छ, एनसिएल कम्पनी लिउँ, एनसिएल कम्पनीले अब एकदम गर्यो होइन, उसको टर्नओभर पनि राम्रो हुँदै गयो, उसले त्यो कम्पनी एनसिएल ह्याभ हाई बार्गेनिङ पावर,
Mm-hmm.
देन इट क्यान क्रिएट मोनोपोली पावर होइन सर,
Yeah.
अनि त्यसले चाहिँ मार्केट फेलियर हुन्छ।
Okay, excellent. So, in a free market economy, if some companies own a large portion of the market share, they might create barriers for new entry. So, as governments, monopolized market मा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि, because it's a free market economy and there are only a few or just one supplier, they can dictate the prices. किनकि ऊ बाहेक त्यो प्रोडक्ट अथवा सर्भिस प्रोभाइड गर्ने कोही पनि छैन, सो उसले जुन प्राइस सेट गर्यो त्यही प्राइसमा किन्नुपर्छ मान्छेहरूले। यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि गभर्मेन्ट इन्टरभेन्सन इज इम्पोर्टेन्ट। सो हामीले बेस्ट एक्जाम्पल मार्केट फेलियरको युएस र क्यानाडाको ड्रग प्राइस गरेर होइन, युएसमा चाहिँ ड्रग कम्पनीज द्याट मोनोपोलिज इन सम लाइफ सेभिङ ड्रग्स लाइक इन्सुलिन, डायबेटिक पेसेन्ट्सलाई चाहिने ड्रग्सहरू एभ्री डे, त्यस्तो ड्रग्समा पनि मोनोपोली भयो भने त्यस्तो ड्रग्स एउटा भाइलकै $1000 भनेर प्राइस सेट, एन्ड पब so this is a situation where the government needs to intervene because monopolies, they exploit people, they exploit their position and their bargaining power. So in the other version of market failure, we talk about how demerit goods are overconsumed and merit goods are underconsumed. So you have to talk about the quality of demerit goods and merit goods. The quality of a demerit good is such that benefits are immediately realized, but the long-term consequences are not. Okay, let me give you a simple. Smoking a cigarette. When you smoke a cigarette, the satisfaction that you gain from smoking a cigarette is immediately realized. जुन मजा आउँछ चुरोट खाँदाखेरि त्यो खान बित्तिकै आउँछ होइन, तर जुन लङ टर्म कन्सिक्वेन्सेस हुन्छ, जुन अब लङ क्यान्सरदेखि लिएर जुन सास प्रश्वास गर्नलाई गाह्रो हुन सक्ने डिजिजहरूदेखि लिएर विभिन्न प्रकारको लङ टर्म कन्सिक्वेन्सेसहरू जुन हुन्छ त्यो इमिडिएटली रियलाइज हुँदैन, त्यो त 5 वर्ष 10 वर्षपछि रियलाइज हुने हो। अनि यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि त्यो सिगरेट स्मोक गर्ने मान्छेले के सोच्छ भन्दाखेरि लङ टर्म कन्सिक्वेन्सेस छँदै छैन यसको भनेर सोच्छ, अथवा कहिले आउँछ हुँदैन, मलाई हुँदैन होला भनेर भन ठान्छ हैन. So eventually चाहिँ long term consequences आइसकेपछि चाहिँ not just talking about one particular person consuming a demerit good, but the population at large, if demerit goods are overconsumed, then it leads to market failure. सबैजनालाई lung cancer भएर hospital ridden भयो भने the productivity of the entire nation decreases. As a result, the government intervenes through taxation. They tax demerit goods so that demerit goods are less consumed. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So in the same manner, merit goods भनेको अब एजुकेसन जस्तै भयो. So एजुकेसनमा चाहिँ नि के छ भन्दाखेरि costs are immediately realized, but the benefits, they are not immediately realized. There are long-term benefits, but immediate costs when it comes to merit goods. For example, education. Getting an education would be a merit good because अब हामीले कलेजलाई पैसा तिरिराख्नुपर्छ त्यो चाहिँ देखिराखेको हुन्छ तर पछि गएर यो डिग्री लिएर हामी गयो भने हामीले काम पाउँछ कि पाउँदैन त्यो त अनसर्टन हो नि त. द्याट इज स्टिल अनसर्टन. द्याट बेनिफिट स्टिल हेज नट बिन रियलाइज्ड. इट्स अ लङ टर्म बेनिफिट एन्ड इट्स स्टिल अनसर्टन इन नेचर. सो बिकज लङ टर्म बेनिफिट्स हुन्छ र अनसर्टन बेनिफिट्स हुन्छ, मेरिट गुड्स आर अन्डर कन्ज्युम्ड. जति कन्ज्युम गर्नुपर्ने थियो त्योभन्दा थोरै कन्जम्सन हुन्छ. सो यो सिचुएसनमा चाहिँ गभर्मेन्टले के गर्छ भन्दाखेरि मेरिट गुड्सहरूमा चाहिँ सब्सिडिजहरू दिन्छ. स्कुल्स एजुकेसनमा एजुकेसन फ्री गराइदिन्छ कति गभर्मेन्टहरूले होइन. कति गभर्मेन्टहरूले एजुकेसनको लागि कन्सेसन दिन्छ. एजुकेसन पाउनको लागि बच्चाहरूलाई लजिङदेखि लिएर फुडिङ प्रोभाइड गरिदिन्छ. सो यो सबै किन गरेको त भन्दाखेरि so that merit goods are not under consumed. Because in a market where merit goods are under consumed, eventually in the long run, market failure will occur. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So I think we should move on to our lecture now. We have 45 participants, so that's good. Chatma. Okay. Basu has said no, sir. Didn't you understand anything? अघिनको कुनै क्वेसन थियो हो?
होइन तपाईँले फर्स्टमा त्यो इन्ट्रोडक्सन अफ कन्फ्युजन लेख्यो कि लेखेन
ए ए ए केही छैन. Eventually, gradually, I can give you pointers and you can improve on your writing skills. Okay. So share the screen. So this is where we ended yesterday. Let me just record. What is the difference between the concepts of productivity and efficiency? This is where we left yesterday. So as we've already discussed in the beginning of our questioning today, the aim of using technology in the process of economic development is to increase both productivity and efficiency. Productivity deals with the output, whereas efficiency deals with the quality of output. For example, producing 100 widgets an hour may look good on a productivity sheet, but it's not very efficient if half of them are rejected because they don't meet quality standards. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Productivity भनेको चाहिँ आउटपुट कति प्रड्युस गर्यो त्यसमा मात्र भर पर्छ हैन. तर एफिसिएन्सी भनेको कसरी प्रड्युस गरेको छ त, क्वालिटी छ कि छैन त्यो प्रड्युस गरिसकेको प्रोडक्ट्सहरूमा, त्यसमा डिल गर्छ एफिसिएन्सीले। सो एक्जाम्पलको लागि चाहिँ नि अब 100वटा प्रोडक्ट्सहरू 1 घन्टामा प्रड्युस गर्यो भने प्रोडक्टिभिटी स्प्रेडसिटमा चाहिँ नि ओहो 1 घन्टामा त 100वटा प्रड्युस गरेको भनेको त एकदम प्रोडक्टिभ हो भनेर भन्ठान्छौँ। तर एफिसिएन्सीको दायरामा हेऱ्यो भने चाहिँ क्वालिटी स्ट्यान्डर्ड मिट नगरिकन 100वटामा 50वटा चाहिँ को बनेको छैन भनेर 50वटा फाल्नु पर्यो भने द्याट्स नट एफिसिएन्ट। ओके, इज द्याट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
So the aim of using technology in the process of economic development is to increase both productivity, the number of outputs, and also efficiency, the quality of outputs. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So total factor productivity. So we are going to be learning about total factor productivity and marginal factor productivity. So these are very easy concepts, but just the names kind of intimidates you, but don't worry, it's very simple. Total factor productivity is measured as the ratio of aggregate output to aggregate inputs. So total factor output by total factor input. Okay, कतिको आउटपुट दिन्छ जब हामी सबै फ्याक्टर्स अफ प्रोडक्सन इनपुट गर्छौँ। एउटा देशको लागि हामीसँग कति जनसङ्ख्या छ जसले चाहिँ काम गर्न सक्छ, हामीसँग कति पैसा छ होइन, कति मसिनरी छ, त्यो सबै इनपुटबाट कतिको प्रोडक्सन कतिको आउटपुट हुन्छ त्यो मेजरलाई नै टोटल फ्याक्टर प्रोडक्टिभिटी भनेर हामी लिन सक्छौँ। इज द्याट क्लियर?
सर भन्नु मतलब total output by total input.
Yes, but here we are talking about total factor inputs like labor and capital, because labor and capital, they help in the production of products and services. So as per the total factor input, and which is the summation of labor and capital, हाम्रो लेबरर्सहरू र क्यापिटलको समेसन इनपुट गर्दाखेरि कतिको आउटपुट आउँछ, सो त्यसलाई चाहिँ टोटल फ्याक्टर प्रोडक्टिभिटी भनेर बुझ्न सक्छौँ। इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
इट्स जस्ट अ रेसियो अफ आउटपुट बाई इनपुट। तर इनपुटमा चाहिँ नि हामीले के ध्यान दिनुपर्छ भन्दाखेरि इट डिल्स विथ फ्याक्टर्स अफ प्रोडक्सन। फ्याक्टर्स अफ प्रोडक्सन भनेपछि लेबर एन्ड क्यापिटल, मसिनरी एन्ड the people who work in the production of goods and services. So when we put in the aggregate amount of labor and capital, what is the output that we get? That gives you the total factor productivity. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So total हाम्रो जनसङ्ख्या, पैसा र मसिनरी मिलाएर कतिको आउटपुट प्रोडक्सन हुन्छ भनेर हेर्ने मेजरलाई नै टोटल फ्याक्टर प्रोडक्टिभिटी भनेर बुझ्दा हुन्छ है। क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Now comes marginal factor productivity. So the term marginal productivity refers to the extra output gained by adding 1 unit of labor. हामीले marginal productivity, marginal GDP, त्यस्तो marginal भनेर शब्द आउन बित्तिकै it means 1 additional unit. Okay, so the term marginal productivity refers to the extra output gained by adding 1 unit of labor. So that can be marginal labor productivity. So marginal capital productivity मा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि refers to the extra output gained by adding 1 unit of capital. Okay, so that can be this particular thing, unit of labor भनेको छ नि, यो factor productivity मा चाहिँ नि this can either be labor or capital. Is that clear? मैले भनेको बुझिरहेछ? Marginal भन्ने बित्तिकै it means 1 additional unit. So marginal factor productivity means this factor can either be labor or capital. So the term marginal labor productivity refers to the extra output gained by adding 1 unit of labor. The term marginal capital productivity refers to the extra output gained by adding 1 unit of capital. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So for example, this example will help you understand things better. Over 30 days, Bob produces 200 pairs of jeans. When he works with a partner, Ron, the output of the pair increases to 550 pairs of jeans. So what is the marginal labor productivity of Ron? Bob's productivity is 200 and the marginal productivity of adding a second person is 350. बुझिरहेछ? बबले चाहिँ 200 pairs of jeans produce गर्छ तर रन आएर बबसँग काम गरिसकेपछि 550 pairsहरू produce गर्यो. So 550 minus 200 gives you 350. So an additional person, if that additional person works, then the marginal productivity would be 350. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
One additional unit मान्छेले कतिको productivity, कतिको output produce गर्यो. That can be understood as marginal factor productivity. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So यही same scenario मा चाहिँ नि मैले machinery को पनि example दिन सक्छु. For 30 days, for let's say like one machine produces 200 pairs of jeans. So what is the marginal productivity of adding one additional unit of that same machine? मैले भनेको question बुझ्यो? Should I repeat it? Okay, let me repeat the question. I want an answer from all of you. एउटा मसिनले 200 वटा जीन्स प्रोड्युस गर्छ. मैले सेम खाले सेम मोडलको मसिन नयाँ ल्यायो भने what would be the marginal productivity?
200.
200.
Excellent. So the marginal productivity would be 200 because same model of machine हैन. एउटा मसिनले 200 वटा maximum produce गर्न सक्छ. अर्को नयाँ मसिन ल्यायो भने त्यो मसिनले पनि 200 additional produce गर्न सक्छ. So marginal factor productivity would be how much?
200.
Very good. But when you look at the total productivity, it's going to be 400. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Is that clear? Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
टोटलमा चाहिँ नि दुईटा मसिन प्रयोग गरेर 400 वटा जिन्स प्रोड्युस भयो तर एउटा एडिसनल युनिट अफ मसिनरी प्रयोग गर्दाखेरि 200 वटा बढी भयो. सो द्याट 200 वटा बढी भनेको चाहिँ मार्जिनल फ्याक्टर प्रोडक्टिभिटी भयो. टोटल फ्याक्टर प्रोडक्टिभिटी चाहिँ 400 भयो दुईटा मसिन युज गरेर. ओके, नाउ इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
Okay, wonderful. So this is the end of this lecture. Any questions? यो च्याप्टर पनि सक्यो हाम्रो. अब 3टा च्याप्टर बाँकी छ. 3टा च्याप्टर in the sense like Kanhaiya sir, he's already taught those chapters, but I'm gonna teach them again. Any questions in regarding to this course as in this chapter?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
सर हामीले यो लेबर इन्टेन्सिभ र अनि भर्सेस क्यापिटल इन्टेन्सिभ पनि कभर गरिसकेको हो.
Yes.
एकचोटि फेरि भनिदिनुहोस् न यो.
Where Where's that? Here. So technology choice, labor intensive and capital intensive, it basically refers to the concentration in regards to factors of production. So a country can either be labor intensive or capital intensive in terms of the concentration when it comes to factors of production. So I gave you two examples. Labor intensive would be handicrafts. Handicrafts को businessमा कामदारहरूले हातले नै काम गर्नुपर्छ, so that would be a labor intensive business. Capital intensive भनेको चाहिँ machinery based. So हाम्रो butchery system छ भनिसकेपछि everything is controlled by the machine. त्यो चिकनलाई क्लिन गर्ने, चिकनलाई काट्ने हैन, त्यो चाहिँ नि मान्छेहरूले गर्दैन, मसिनरीहरूले गर्छ अहिलेको जमानामा हैन. I'm just going to show you the difference between labor intensive and capital intensive scenarios. In many countries, labor intensive ways नै हुन्छ बुचरीको पनि, तर अहिले आएर हाम्रो भ्याली सिस्टम, भ्याली चिकन एक्सप्रेस भन्ने जुन कम्पनी छ नेपालमा आएको अहिले, they have completely automated the system, the process of producing chicken. So that would be capital intensive, where machinery is used much more than labor, where its factors of production is automation, machinery based. That would be capital intensive. Labor intensive would be where laborers or people are in the forefront, where machinery is not in the forefront, but people work with their hands, work with their minds. They just are in the forefront of the factors of production. Now, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So how would you define Nepal? Labor intensive हो कि capital intensive हो?
Basically सबैभन्दा फोकस चाहिँ लेबरमै गरेछ, क्यापिटल चाहिँ धेरै युज भएको छैन.
Yes. Banking sector kai example लिँदा पनि it's labor intensive, it's not capital intensive, because simple transactions like depositing cash also needs to be done standing in line, and there's a person that is standing behind a counter depositing all our money. So that is very labor intensive. Capital intensive would be an automatic deposit machine where you can just put in cash and that would be automatically deposited to your account. Is that clear? So that's the basic difference between labor intensive and capital intensive. It's a technological choice. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's said to be a technological choice also because sometimes we think that developing countries are labor intensive and developed countries are capital intensive, but that's almost always not the case. There are some luxury manufacturers, luxury watch manufacturers, luxury car manufacturers, and they are highly labor intensive. That is why they're so expensive. Handmade, hand manufactured, भनेर, that is their selling point, हैन? So उनीहरूको selling point नै हामी luxurious car brand हो, हामीले चाहिँ mass produce गर्दैन, तर कस्टमाइज गरेर बनाउँछौँ. कस्टमाइज गर्नको लागि मान्छेहरू नै चाहियो. मसिनरी अब हरेक टाइम फेरिराख्न मिल्दैन. मास प्रड्युस गर्ने मसिनहरू धेरैचोटि फेर्न मिल्दैन, एकदमै धेरै कस्ट लाग्छ. सो त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि हामी चाहिँ लग्जरी गाडीहरू बनाउँछौँ. ह्यान्डमेड लेदर सिट्स, ह्यान्डमेड alloy wheels. So even a luxury company can be labor intensive. Okay, so you need to dismiss that assumption that labor intensive हुन बित्तिकै it's backward in nature भनेर जुन assumption छ त्यो चाहिँ नि हटाउनु पर्छ. It's a technological choice. Companies that are luxurious like Rolls-Royce, they are highly labor intensive in some aspects. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for the question, Priya. Any other question that you have in regards to any of the slides, any of the previous concepts, theories that we've learned before we move on to our next chapter? I'm just gonna briefly show you what we did in this chapter. Okay, I think there's no more questions, so let's move on. Shall we move on?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When I asked Kanaya sir, he said he's already taught these slides, but I just want to refresh your memory and repeat it for you all. So, leading theories of economic development. So, whenever we are talking about theories, we have to understand what are theories. So, this is a question that I'm pitching to all of you. What are theories?
It is a hypothesis which is later on proven by the facts.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Any other contribution in regards to what are theories? के होला theory भनेको?
It can be belief regarding certain things.
Mm-hmm. Good. Anything else? Okay. So theories are generalizations. While less developed countries share similarities, every country's unique economic, social, cultural, and historical experience means the implications of a given theory vary widely from country to country. So, like I have underlined and mentioned, theories are generalizations. So, why is it important for us to understand this particular point? Is because while less developed countries share similarities, every country is different. Every country is unique in terms of its economic, social, cultural, and historical experience. As a result, these theories might not work. The theories that we are going to be discussing in terms of economic development, it might very well not work because they are generalizations. एउटा hypothesis लिएर in general यो चाहिँ काम गर्छ है भनेर बुझ्नु मात्र हो theories भनेको. Specifically, every country is unique. त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि त्यो युनिकनेसको कारणले गर्दाखेरि यो generalizations हामीमा लागू नहुन सक्छ. सो त्यो कुरा चाहिँ पहिल्यै एस्टाब्लिस गरेर जानुपर्छ हामीले थ्योरीहरू पढ्दाखेरि. इज द्याट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
So all in all, theories are generalizations because countries can have very specific needs. These generalizations might not apply. Okay, is that clear? So what is economic development? We've studied about economic development all this time. What is economic development?
Development, in one sense, can be considered as the eradication of poverty, unemployment, and illiteracy.
Excellent, Sagar.
Whereas traditional approach talks about growth of gross domestic product or gross national.
Mm-hmm. Okay. When you look at the traditional view on economic development, it basically looks at economic growth. It does not look at economic development, it looks at economic growth. So it is just concerned with the GDP of the country. But when you look at economic development, it also looks at infrastructures of development, such as education and health. It is a much more comprehensive approach to development where other aspects, not just income, is taken into account. Okay, so those are the differences between the modern view and traditional view on economic development. But as Sagar stated correctly, economic development is a state where there is an eradication of income inequality, of unemployment, and basically poverty. The ultimate goal of economic development is to reach a state where poverty is completely eradicated. Okay, so economic development occurs with the reduction and elimination of poverty, inequality, and unemployment within a growing economy. Human Development Index measures a country's average achievements in three basic dimensions of human development: life expectancy, educational attainment, and adjusted real income. So, Human Development Index is an excellent example of the modern view on development. Modern view of developmentमा चाहिँ इन्कम र पैसा मात्र कति आर्जन गरेको नहेर लाइफ एक्सपेक्टेन्सी, हेल्थ पनि हेर्छ र एजुकेसनल अटेनमेन्ट कतिको छ, कतिको आफूलाई भएको कुराहरू अथवा मनमा एक्सप्रेस गर्न सक्छ कि सक्दैन, एजुकेसन र हेल्थको एस्पेक्ट्सहरू पनि ह्युमन डेभलपमेन्ट इन्डेक्सले हेर्छ होइन. सो त्यो कारणले गर्दाखेरि दिस इज अ कम्प्रिहेन्सिभ भ्यू अन डेभलपमेन्ट. It's a modern view on economic development. Is it clear? This is just refreshing your memory so that when I go into the theories, you won't be lost. यतिसम्म बुझेको हो?
Oh, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do theories and models try to do? Economic development theories and models seek to explain and predict how economies develop or not over time. Barriers to growth can be identified and overcome. Government can induce, start, sustain, and accelerate growth with appropriate development policies. So हामी economic development theories र मोडलहरूको बारेमा पढ्ने छौँ होइन. सो यो किन पढ्छौँ त हामी भन्दाखेरि, फर्स्ट अफ अल इट shows us how economies develop over time. कुनै पनि एउटा कन्ट्रीको इकोनोमी डेभलप हुनको लागि के कुराहरू चाहिन्छ, कसरी डेभलप भयो, त्यो कुरा चाहिँ हामीले थाहा पाउन सक्छौँ. अर्को कुरा चाहिँ ब्यारियर्स टु ग्रोथ क्यान बी आइडेन्टिफाइड एन्ड ओभरकम. इकोनोमिजहरू डेभलप हुँदाखेरि कस्तो खाले ब्यारियर्सहरू आयो, कस्तो खाले च्यालेन्जेसहरू आयो र त्यो कन्ट्रीले के पोलिसिज, के अप्रोच अप्नायो, त्यो कुराहरू पनि हामी जान्न सक्छौँ economic development theories पढेर. Finally, government can introduce, sustain, and accelerate growth with appropriate development policies. So this is at an execution level. If you are a government official or if you are a citizen, you might very well advise the government officials in power to start, sustain, and accelerate growth with appropriate development policies. जुन चाहिँ अरू कन्ट्रिजहरूले गरेको एक्जाम्पल्सहरू छ अथवा मिस्टेकहरू छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ रिपिट नलाई होइन, you can execute same development policy, same development theory so that your government, your country can start, sustain, and accelerate growth in terms of its economy. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So leading theories of economic development. Rostow's doctrine of economic development, Lewy's theory of structural transformation, the dualistic development thesis, free markets, public choice, and market-friendly thesis, the new growth theory. Okay, so this chapter might be a bit boring because it talks about all these theories, but I'm going to try to make this as fun as possible. The first one is Rostow stages of growth. So यसलाई चाहिँ नि linear stage of growth model पनि भन्छ because it deals with linear stages. Rostow भन्ने मान्छेले चाहिँ के भन्यो भन्दाखेरि basically Rostow comes from a developed European country. European based, I mean like Western based country. अनि रस्टाउले चाहिँ के गर्यो भन्दाखेरि डेभलप्ड कन्ट्रिज र डेभलपिङ कन्ट्रिजको डिफरेन्स हेऱ्यो अनि उसले चाहिँ के थियोराइज गर्यो भन्दाखेरि फर एनी कन्ट्री टु बी डेभलप्ड इकोनोमिकली डेभलप्ड देयर आर स्टेजेस लेभल 1 लेभल 2 लेभल 3 हामीले गेममा स्टेज खेला जस्तै होइन तिमी एक्सपर्ट हुनको लागि लेभल 100 पुग्नुपर्छ भन्ने जस्तै रस्टाउले चाहिँ कुनै पनि कन्ट्री इकोनोमिकली डेभलप्ड हुने स्टेजमा पुग्नको लागि उसले लेभल 1 लेभल 2 लेभल 3 पार गरेर लिनियर स्टेजेसहरू लाइक स्टेप वाइज आउनुपर्छ भनेर थियोराइज गर्यो उसले चाहिँ डेभलप्ड कन्ट्रिजहरू के ट्रान्सफर्मेसनबाट गुज्रियो होइन के कुराहरू उनीहरूले राइट गर्यो सो द्याट दे आर इकोनोमिकली डेभलप्ड त्यो सबै कुरा स्टडी गरेर लेभल 1 लेभल 2 लेभल 3 भनेर स्टेजेस अफ ग्रोथ उसले डिनोट गर्यो सो लेट्स लुक एट द स्टेजेस अफ ग्रोथ पहिला चाहिँ द ट्रेडिसनल सोसाइटी हुन्छ त्यसपछि चाहिँ प्री कन्डिसन्स फर टेक अफ देन फाइनली द इकोनोमी टेक्स अफ it drives to maturity and then there is age of mass consumption. Age of mass consumption is the ultimate expression of economic growth as per Rostow. Okay, traditional society भनेको सबभन्दा primitive stage of growth, सबभन्दा पहिलो stage of growth. So यो स्टेजबाट फाइनल स्टेजसम्म पुग्दाखेरि चाहिँ एउटा इकोनोमी completely developed huncha as per Rostow's theory. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Basically यो theory चाहिँ नि कहाँबाट आएको भन्दाखेरि World War II end भइसक्दाखेरि people were trying to figure out, especially people in developing countries, they were trying to figure out what should we do to eradicate poverty? What should we do to eradicate unemployment? What should we do to eradicate the divide between the rich and poor? So when developing countries were struggling, developed countries, they had already figured it out. They were already economically stable, the unemployment rates were low, and the income divide was also low between the rich and poor. So that's why developing countries, they looked at developed countries. What were the things that they did right so that they could copy and be just as economically developed? So यो सन्दर्भमा चाहिँ रस्टाउ भन्ने एकजना रिसर्चरले आएर he studied the success stories of developed, economically developed countries and basically came up with stages of growth. Primitive stage of growth बाट बिस्तारै बिस्तारै level 1, level 2, level 3 कुरा गर्दै गयो भने final stage would be mass consumption जहाँ चाहिँ एउटा कन्ट्रीले आफ्नो युनिक सेलिङ पोइन्ट आइडेन्टिफाई गरेर त्यो युनिक सेलिङ पोइन्ट चाहिँ इन्टरनेसनल ट्रेडमा उपयोग गर्छ त्यो स्टेजमा आएर चाहिँ एउटा इकोनोमी कम्प्लिटली डेभलप हुन्छ भनेर रस्टाउले थियोराइज गर्यो ओके अब यो सबै स्टेजेसहरू चाहिँ हामी इन्डिभिजुअली इन डेप्थ पढ्छौँ एउटा स्टेजमा के हुँदाखेरि त्यो स्टेज भएको हो र त्यो स्टेजबाट अर्को स्टेज मुभ हुनलाई ट्रान्जिसन गर्नको लागि के चाहिन्छ त्यो सबै हामी पढ्छौँ ओके यतिसम्म त बुझेको छ
Sure, sir.
Good. So like I said, in a video game मा जस्तो traditional society level 1 भयो भने preconditions for takeoff would be level 2, takeoff would be level 3, drive to maturity would be level 4, and my high mass consumption would be level 5. Okay. So I'm not going to be discussing this in depth. I have separate slides for each of them. So traditional society, stage 1. Stage 1 मा चाहिँ नि, how is it characterized? It's characterized by subsistence economic activity. Output is consumed by producers rather than traded, but is consumed by those who produce it. Trade by barter, where goods are exchanged, they're swapped. Agriculture is the most important industry, and production is labor intensive, using only limited quantities of capital. Okay. So traditional society भनेको चाहिँ सबभन्दा primitive stage of economic growth as per Rostow. It's been characterized as labor intensive and not capital intensive, plus sustenance economic activity. For example, farming नै गर्यो भने फार्मरहरूले चाहिँ आफूले खानको लागि मात्र फार्मिङ गर्छ, तर त्यो एक्स्ट्रा प्रोड्युस गर्दैन, so that they can sell it, they can trade it and earn a lot of money. They just do enough activity to sustain themselves. So that would be subsistence economic activity go example. Output is consumed by producers rather than okay. So that is the ultimate sign of a traditional society. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So यो स्टेजबाट सेकेन्ड स्टेज चाहिँ ट्रान्जिसनल स्टेज, प्री टेक अफ स्टेज. प्लेन टेक अफ गर्नु अगाडि इन्जिनहरू चेक गर्छ, रनवेमा थ्रस्ट पुग्छ कि पुग्दैन होइन, सबै सिस्टमहरू चलिराखेको छ कि छैन. द्याट इज प्री टेक अफ, द प्री कन्डिसन फर टेक अफ. Surpluses for trading emerge, supported by an emerging transport infrastructure. Savings and investment grow, entrepreneurs emerge. So the precondition for takeoff for economic growth would be surpluses for trading emerges. Means of a subsistence. Did I say it right? Subsistence, yes. Okay. Subsistence economic activity बाट move on भएर surplus for trading would emerge. Means, for example, farmers, they don't just farm for themselves, they farm enough for their needs and surplus. They can trade that. They can trade that. And also in terms of transport infrastructure. एउटा ठाउँबाट अर्को ठाउँ जानको लागि ट्रान्सपोर्टेसनको इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरहरू डेभलप हुन्छ. Savings and investments grow and entrepreneurs, okay. Do you think Nepal is in a transitional stage, or has it all?
So,
okay. Take off. Industries switching from land to manufacturing. Growth is concentrated in few regions of the country. New political and social institutions evolve to support industrialization. So industrialization basically means from subsistence economic activity, mass production activity is focused upon, and instead of production in land, they use land for manufacturing purposes. There is within concentrated few regions where one or two industries, they are big and they dominate the market. There are new political and social institutions that evolve to support industrialization. Okay, so this is the takeoff stage. So what stage is Nepal in?
So I think it is about to take off, but it is in transitional stage.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? What are the leading industries in Nepal? Previously, garment industry was one of the leading industries in Nepal. अहिले आएर चाहिँ, what do you think is the leading industry in Nepal? For the takeoff stage, it is very important that growth is concentrated in a few regions and in one or two industries. Okay.
Tourism, I think.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Any signs of growth in our tourism sector? Tourism industरीमा growth concentration भएको कुनै example अथवा कुनै insight that you have seen happen so far?
त्यसको लागि काम गरिरहेको थियौँ सर, जस्तै भिजिट नेपाल 2020 जुन पोस्टपोन भयो, हामी गरे भए त्यसमा पनि ग्रोथ देखिन्थ्यो नि होइन सर?
Yes. So one of the criteria, as in like one of the insights that our tourism industry is improving would be the number of tourists that were visiting Nepal. It was increasing. It was in an increasing trend. And also the Visit Nepal 2020 campaign. It was a big step by the government to concentrate and enhance our tourism industry. Unfortunately, it couldn't take place, and now the tourism industry is actually suffering a lot. So this is the takeoff stage. यहाँसम्म clear भएको हो?
Yes, sir.
Drive to maturity. Growth is now diverse, supported by technological innovation. So drive to maturity means एउटा दुईटा industry मात्र होइन. Now the growth is diverse. Means there are several industries that are supported by technological innovation. You can see where Rostow is coming from. In his theory, capital intensive is considered to be a sign of economic development rather than labor intensive. Primitive subsistence economic activity ma labor intensive थियो. So as we are growing in terms of the levels of economic growth, in terms of the stages of economic growth, it is supported by technological innovation. It is supported by capital and machinery. It is supported with the notion that it's going to be capital intensive. Okay, so that's a drive towards maturity. Finally, high mass consumption. Stage 5 मा चाहिँ mass production मात्र होइन, mass consumption is the norm. Okay, ultimate sign of economic growth as per Rostow, stage 5 would be high mass consumption, where आफैले मात्र आफ्नो देशमा मात्र mass consumption हुने होइन कि आफ्नो देशमा produce भएको goods चाहिँ internationally mass consumption भएको. So that stage of economic growth is the final stage of economic growth as per Rostow. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So requirements for the takeoff stage. Just a reminder of what we learned. Traditional society limited means and sustenance farming. So आफूलाई पुग्ने गरी मात्र production गर्ने त्यो चाहिँ primitive stage मा भयो. Takeoff stage मा चाहिँ के requirements छ भन्दाखेरि तीनटा specific requirements हुन्छ. Rate of investment over 10% of national income, development of leading sectors, reinvestment of profit in leading sectors. Okay. So rate of investment has to be over 10% of the national income, development of leading sectors. The tourism sector is a leading sector that generates income in Nepal. So you have to focus on the development of such leading sectors. And at the same time, reinvestment of profit. Tourism sector बाट जति profit, जति tax कमायो, त्यो tax को चाहिँ reinvestment हुनुपर्छ त्यही sector मा. सो यो तीनटा चाहिँ रिक्वायरमेन्ट्सहरू भयो बेसिकली टेक अफ स्टेजको लागि ओके सो इफ दिज थ्री रिक्वायरमेन्ट्स हेभ बिन मेट then you can say that our country is in the takeoff stage as described by Rostow. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not going to go any further because I don't want you to feel heavy and feel that this is a lot of information to take in such a short amount of time. So, any questions so far?
सर यो रिइन्भेस्टमेन्ट अफ प्रफिट चाहिँ नेपालको केसमा भइरहेछ त छैन जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ।
छैन 10% of national income नै इन्भेस्टमेन्ट भएको छैन आई थिङ्क
ए भनेपछि हामी त्यही अगाडिकै स्टेजमा छौँ
या
ट्रान्जिसन।
we're in the transitional stage, pre takeoff stage, let's say. We still need to meet these requirements. Rate of investment over 10% of national income, development of leading sectors, reinvestment of profit in leading sectors. पहिला हाम्रो गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्री एकदमै राम्रो गरिराखेको थियो तर नेपाल एउटा डेभलपिङ कन्ट्री भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि ट्रेड एसोसिएसन्स इन्टरनेसनल ट्रेड एसोसिएसन्स दे प्रोभाइडेड अस विथ सब्सिडिज इन टर्म्स अफ ट्याक्स कन्सेसन्स अरू देशहरूले गार्मेन्ट्स प्रड्युस गर्दाखेरि उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ ट्याक्स तिराउँथ्यो तर नेपाललाई चाहिँ तिराउँदैन थियो होइन डेभलपिङ कन्ट्री हो भनेर अनि पछि हाम्रो गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्री एकदम राम्रो भएर आउँदाखेरि पछि ट्याक्सचोटि इम्पोज गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्री फेल भएको हो कि तर हाम्रो गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्रीले पनि लाइक हामीलाई एकदमै ठुलो अपर्च्युनिटी थियो कति वर्षसम्म हामीलाई ट्याक्स कन्सेसन दिएको थियो त्यो ट्याक्स कन्सेसन दिएको बेला हामीले रिइन्भेस्टमेन्ट अफ प्रफिट गर्नुपर्ने थियो कि न्यू टेक्नोलोजी एफिसिएन्टी क्वालिटी राम्रो अनि कस्ट पनि कम हुने त्यस्तो टेक्नोलोजीमा त्यही बेस्ट गरेको भए गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्री वुड स्टिल बी द लिडिङ इन्डस्ट्री इन टर्म्स अफ इन्टरनेसनल ट्रेड तर टाइम फ्रेमसम्म त्यो ट्याक्स कन्सेसन दियो हामी चाहिँ कम्प्लेसेन्ट भएर यतिमै बेची राख्ने अनि प्रफिट पनि त्यति कमाइ नै रहेछ लाइक वाइ सुड बी इन्भेस्ट इन न्यू टेक्नोलोजी वाइ सुड बी इन्भेस्ट इन न्यू क्यापिटल भनेर गरेन अनि एकैचोटि त्यो ट्याक्स कन्सेसन फिर्ता लिएर ट्याक्स दिनुपर्ने बनाइसकेपछि हाम्रो गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्री फेल भएको हो कि यस दिपेश
सर यही कुरामा अलिकति एड गर्छु ल अनि नि लाइक म पहिला झापामा बस्थेँ होइन त्यहाँनिर चाहिँ नेपालको लिडिङ गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्री थियो मोमेन्टो अपेरियल्स भन्ने होइन एन्ड अहिले म विराटनगरमा छु अनि यहाँनिर चाहिँ गार्मेन्ट कम्पनी आजभन्दा 4-5 वर्ष अगाडिसम्म चल्थ्यो होइन अनि हजुरले भने जस्तै भएको थियो होइन अनि त्यस पछाडि चाहिँ नेपालको जुन यो लेबर युनियनहरू जुन छ नि सर पोलिटिकल पार्टीहरूको युनियनले गर्दाखेरि त्यो दुइटै गार्मेन्ट इन्डस्ट्रीमा चाहिँ एकदमै त्यो हुन्छ नि लेबर युनियनको बन्द भएको भइ गर्ने अनि गार्मेन्टले चाहिँ हुन्छ नि अब लामो समयसम्म चाहिँ बन्द हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अनि जुन यो फरेन ब्रान्ड्सहरू थियो जसले चाहिँ नेपाली गार्मेन्ट उद्योगबाट चाहिँ आफ्नो कपडाहरू लिएर जान्थ्यो होइन अनि उनीहरूलाई उता घाटा लाग्दै गएपछि चाहिँ अनि उनीहरूले चाहिँ नेपाली गार्मेन्ट कम्पनीबाट चाहिँ सामान अर्डर गर्नुभन्दा पनि बेटर चाहिँ बङ्गलादेशको गार्मेन्ट कम्पनीहरूबाट चाहिँ अर्डर गर्नु ठिक लागेर चाहिँ अनि उनीहरूले त्यो पोलिटिकल पार्टीहरूको कारणले गर्दाखेरि पनि नेपाली गार्मेन्ट उद्योग चाहिँ बन्द हुन गएको हो सर
भेरी ट्रु पोलिटिकल इन्स्टेबिलिटी र लेबर युनियन्सको बार्गेनिङ पावरले गर्दाखेरि पनि धेरै इन्डस्ट्रिजहरू नेपालमा क्लोज भएको छ मलाई अहिले पनि याद छ डाबरको इन्डस्ट्री नट इन्डस्ट्री आई वुड से डाबरको फ्याक्ट्रिजहरू कतिवटा फ्याक्ट्रिजहरू त बन्दै गरिदिएको थियो कि द लेबर युनियन्स दे वर डिमान्डिङ हाई पे तर पैसै कमाएको छैन कम्पनीले हाई पे कसरी दिने बरु म कम्पनी नै बन्द गर्छु भनेर अनि कम्पनी नै बन्द गरेर कम्पनीले पनि अब फाइदा गर्न सकेन कम्पनीले पनि कन्ट्रीको जिडिपीमा मद्दत पुर्याउन सकेन र जुन लेबरर्सहरू थियो लाइक 100-200 all lost their jobs. So झन् खत्तम भयो कि अनि यही सिचुएसन थियो ब्रिटेनमा पनि भएको. सो मार्गरेट थ्याचरले आएर चाहिँ यो ट्रेड युनियन्सहरू एकदमै बलियो भयो, यिनीहरूलाई चाहिँ डिसमेन्टलै गर्नुपर्छ भनेर अनि ट्रेड युनियन्सको बार्गेनिङ पावरलाई चाहिँ डिसमेन्टल गरेर बल्ल इकोनोमिक ग्रोथ त्यहाँ पनि भएको हो कि लेबर युनियनले पनि ठुलो भूमिका निभाउँछ. कुनै ठाउँमा चाहिँ deeper is balance, like balance bargaining power between labor unions and the factory owners, there will be economic growth. He has an upper hand, has a higher bargaining power, and if they are likely to exploit that bargaining power, then it's going to be a loser than a win-win situation for both the parties. So thank you so much, Dipesh, for that contribution. Anything else to end for today? So we won't be having classes next week, is it? Every alternative week, okay? Every week, boyo.
Alternative, no, sir.
Okay. So every alternative week, next week class, right? Next week, go next week. Right.
Okay.
So any questions so far? Yes.
त्यो हजुरले रेकर्डिङ पठाउँदाखेरि स्लाइडको फोटोहरू पनि पठाइदिनु न, यो हजुरले बनाउनु भएको स्लाइडको चाहिँ.
ए हुन्छ हुन्छ म पठाइदिन्छु.
सर अनि त्यो के रे हाम्रो असाइनमेन्टसँग एउटा क्वेसन सोधौँ सर एउटा.
यस.
त्यो के भन्दाखेरि हामीले नेपालीमा बनाउँदा पनि हुन्छ हैन सर?
नेपाली, इङ्ग्लिस, चाइनिजमा चाहिँ नबनाउनु तर. चाइनिज आउँदैन मलाई.
हस् सर. हस्, थ्यांक यू.
Okay. Anything else?
No sir.
You just have tomorrow, Sagar. Like you're asking me this question now. Boli ho design.
यो बनिसक्यो नेपालीमा थियो अनि त्यो कन्फ्युजन आएर अनि त्यो.
ए त्यसो भए ठिक छ. I'm so happy. I got worried for a second. But yeah, Nepali, English, you can use both languages. I don't mind.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions before we end for today? Okay. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day ahead. I'll see you next week or next week. Bye.